Lisa Martinez stood outside the big glass doors of the new Terra Cathedral. Her hand shook as she held her 4-year-old daughter Maya's small fingers. The little girl wore a beautiful white dress that Lisa had saved money for 3 months to buy. Today was supposed to be Maya's baptism day. It was supposed to be a happy day for both of them, but Lisa was not allowed inside. The cathedral was the most beautiful building on New Terra Colony. It had walls made of clear glass that sparkled in the sunlight. Inside, Lisa could see fancy decorations and golden lights hanging from the ceiling. There were at least 50 people sitting in wooden chairs, all dressed in their best clothes. All of them were there for Maya's baptism. All of them, except Maya's own mother. Lisa pressed her face against the cold glass and watched as her ex-husband Derek Thompson walked around inside. He wore an expensive dark blue suit and shiny black shoes. His family surrounded him like he was some kind of king. Derek's mother, Patricia Thompson, stood near the front of the cathedral. She wore a dress that probably cost more money than Lisa made. In 6 months, Patricia had made it very clear that morning. Lisa was not welcome at her own daughter's baptism. "Maya belongs with our family now," Patricia had said when Lisa arrived at the cathedral. "You can wait outside until we're finished. This is a Thompson family event." Lisa had tried to argue. She had papers that showed Maya lived with her most of the time. She was Maya's mother. She had every right to be there. But the Thompson family had money and power on New Terra Colony. They owned the biggest mining company on the planet. When they said something, people listened. "Please," Lisa had begged Derek. "She's my daughter too. I should be here for this." Derek had looked uncomfortable. He avoided looking at Lisa's eyes. "My mother thinks it's better this way," he said quietly. "Maya will be fine. You can see her tomorrow like always." That was it. No more discussion. The security guards at the cathedral had been told to keep Lisa outside. She could watch through the glass, but she could not come in. Now Lisa stood in the hot sun, watching strangers celebrate her daughter's special day without her. Maya kept looking around inside the cathedral. Even from outside, Lisa could see that her little girl was confused and scared. Maya was looking for her mama. Lisa's heart broke into pieces. She had worked so hard to give Maya a good life. After Derek left them 2 years ago, Lisa had taken a job fixing spaceships at the colony's repair station. It was hard work. Her hands got dirty and cut from working with metal and wires all day. But it paid enough money to rent a small apartment and buy food and clothes for Maya. Lisa had grown up poor on Earth. Her parents had worked in factories and never had much money. When she was 18, Lisa had saved enough to buy a ticket on a transport ship to New Terra Colony. She wanted a better life. She wanted to learn skills and make something of herself. That's where she met Derek Thompson. He was young and handsome and seemed different from his family. When they got married, Lisa thought she had found her happy ending, but Derek's family never accepted her. They thought she was not good enough for their son. They looked down on her because she came from Earth's poor areas. When Maya was born, things got worse. Patricia Thompson wanted to control everything about Maya's life. She wanted to choose Maya's clothes, her toys, even her friends. She said Lisa did not know how to raise a child properly. The marriage fell apart. Derek chose his family's money over his wife and daughter. Now he lived in his parents' big house and worked at their mining company. He saw Maya twice a week and acted like he was doing Lisa a favor. And now they had planned Maya's baptism. Without asking Lisa, they had invited all their rich friends and business partners. They had hired the best priest on the colony and decorated the cathedral with expensive flowers. But they did not want Maya's mother there. Lisa wiped tears from her eyes and watched as the priest began the ceremony. Maya stood next to Derek, but she kept looking toward the door. The little girl was smart. She knew something was wrong. "Mama?" Maya's voice was tiny, but Lisa could hear it through the glass. "Where's Mama?" Derek bent down and whispered something to Maya. The little girl shook her head and started to cry. She pulled away from Derek and ran toward the glass doors where Lisa stood outside. "Mama!" Maya pressed her small hands against the glass. Tears ran down her face. "I want Mama!" Lisa put her hands on the glass too, matching Maya's tiny fingers. "I'm here, baby," Lisa said, even though she knew Maya could not hear her clearly. Through the thick glass, "Mama's right here." Patricia Thompson marched over to Maya with an angry face. She grabbed the little girl's arm and pulled her away from the door. Maya cried louder. Other people in the cathedral started to whisper and point. Lisa felt helpless and angry. This was her daughter, her baby. Maya needed her mother, especially for something as important as a baptism. But Lisa had no power here. She had no money, no important friends, no fancy lawyers. The Thompson family could do whatever they wanted. The priest tried to continue the ceremony, but Maya would not stop crying. She kept calling for her mama and trying to run back to the doors. Derek looked embarrassed. Patricia looked furious. Lisa pressed both hands against the glass and closed her eyes. She felt more alone than she had ever felt in her life. She had no one to help her. No one who cared about what was right or fair. The sun was getting hotter. Sweat ran down Lisa's back. Her white shirt was getting wet and wrinkled. She looked nothing like the fancy people inside the cathedral with their expensive clothes and perfect hair. Maya's cries got louder. The little girl had thrown herself on the floor and was refusing to stand up. The whole baptism ceremony had stopped. People were staring and talking among themselves. Lisa wanted to break down the glass doors and run to her daughter. She wanted to hold Maya and tell her everything would be okay. But the security guard stood near the entrance, watching Lisa carefully. All she could do was stand outside in the heat and watch her daughter's heart break, just like her own. This was supposed to be one of the most important days in Maya's young life. Instead, it was becoming a nightmare that neither of them would ever forget. Captain Ryan Cooper walked down the main street of New Terra Colony, checking items off his supply list. His ship, the Stellar Dawn, needed food and fuel before the next long journey to the outer planets. Ryan owned 12 cargo ships that carried goods between different worlds. He had worked hard for 20 years to build his business from nothing. The sound of crying made him stop walking. Ryan looked around and saw a woman standing outside the big cathedral. She was pressing her hands against the glass doors and tears were running down her face. Inside the building, Ryan could see a fancy ceremony happening. A little girl in a white dress was crying too, reaching toward the woman outside. Something was very wrong here. Ryan had seen enough unfair things in his life to know trouble when he saw it. He walked over to the woman. She was young, maybe 30 years old, with dark hair pulled back in a simple ponytail. Her clothes were clean but not expensive. Her hands looked rough from hard work. "Excuse me," Ryan said gently. "Are you okay? Do you need help?" The woman looked at him with red, wet eyes. She wiped her face quickly, like she was embarrassed to be crying in front of a stranger. "I'm fine," she said, but her voice shook. "Thank you for asking." Ryan looked through the glass again. The little girl inside was still crying and calling for someone. The ceremony had completely stopped. Rich-looking people were whispering to each other and looking annoyed. "That's your daughter in there, isn't it?" Ryan asked. The woman nodded. Fresh tears started to fall. "Her name is Maya. Today is her baptism day, but they won't let me inside." "Who won't let you inside?" "My ex-husband's family, the Thompsons. They own the big mining company here." The woman's voice was bitter. "They think I'm not good enough to be at my own daughter's ceremony." Ryan felt anger rise in his chest. He knew about the Thompson Mining Company. They had a bad reputation for treating their workers poorly and caring only about money. But this was worse than he had heard before. "What's your name?" he asked. Lisa Martinez. I'm Ryan Cooper. I own the Stellar Dawn cargo ship." Ryan shook Lisa's hand. "Tell me what happened here." Lisa looked surprised that someone wanted to listen to her story. Most people on New Terra Colony were afraid to go against the Thompson family. Derek and I got divorced 2 years ago, Lisa began. I have custody of Maya most of the time. But his family never accepted me. They planned this baptism without telling me. When I showed up this morning, they said I couldn't come in. They said it was a Thompson family event only. Ryan watched the scene inside the cathedral getting worse. The little girl had thrown herself on the floor and was screaming for her mama. An older woman in an expensive dress was trying to pull the child up, but the girl fought against her. That's Derek's mother, Patricia Thompson, Lisa said, following. Ryan's eyes. She hates me. She thinks Maya should live with them full time. Ryan had heard stories like this before. Rich families who thought money made them better than everyone else. Families who forgot that love was more important than bank accounts. Ryan's own story was different, but he understood Lisa's pain. He had grown up poor on Mars with just his mother. His father had left when Ryan was 5 years old. Ryan's mother, Helen Cooper, had worked 3 jobs to keep food on the table. She cleaned offices at night, worked in a factory during the day, and took care of other people's children on weekends. When Ryan was 10, his mother got sick. The doctor said she needed expensive medicine, but the family had no money for it. Rich people in their neighborhood could have helped, but they looked down on the Cooper family. They thought poor people deserved their problems. Ryan's mother died when he was 12. After that, Ryan had promised himself 2 things. First, he would work hard and become successful so no one could ever look down on him again. Second, he would never let money make him forget where he came from. He would always help people who needed it, especially children who were being hurt by adults with power. Ryan had kept both promises. He now had more money than he could spend in 10 lifetimes. But he still remembered what it felt like to be powerless and poor. Lisa, Ryan said, I'm going to help you. Lisa looked at him like he was crazy. You don't understand. The Thompson family controls everything here. They have security guards and lawyers and important friends. You can't fight them. Watch me, Ryan said. Ryan walked to the cathedral doors. The security guard stepped forward to block him, but Ryan pulled out his identification card. It showed that he was the owner of Cooper Shipping Company, one of the biggest cargo businesses in this part of space. I need to speak with the Thompson family, Ryan said calmly. The guards looked at each other. They knew Ryan's name. Cooper Shipping brought a lot of business to New Terra Colony. The guards opened the doors. Ryan walked into the cathedral with confidence. His boots made loud sounds on the marble floor. Everyone turned to look at him. Ryan was a big man, over 6 feet tall, with broad shoulders from years of loading cargo. On ships, he wore simple clothes, dark pants, and a white shirt. But they were well-made and expensive. The crying little girl saw the doors open and thought her mother was coming in. When she saw a stranger instead, she cried even harder. Patricia. Thompson marched over to Ryan. She was angry that someone had interrupted her family's ceremony. Excuse me, this is a private event, Patricia said in a cold voice. You need to leave immediately. My name is Ryan Cooper, he said loud enough for everyone to hear. I own Cooper Shipping Company. I was walking by when I noticed that child, crying for her mother. Patricia's face changed when she heard Ryan's name. Cooper Shipping controlled many of the trade routes that brought supplies to New Terra Colony. The Thompson Mining Company needed those supplies to operate. Mr. Cooper, Patricia said, forcing a fake smile. How nice to meet you. But this is just a small family matter. Nothing for you to worry about. Ryan looked down at the little girl on the floor. Maya had stopped crying and was looking up at him with big, scared eyes. Hello there, Ryan said, gently, kneeling down to Maya's level. What's your name? Maya, the little girl whispered. That's a beautiful name. Maya, do you want your mama to be here with you today? Maya nodded hard. She's outside. They won't let her come in. Ryan stood up and looked directly at Patricia Thompson. His voice was calm but firm. Mrs. Thompson, this little girl wants her mother here for her baptism. That seems like a reasonable request to me. Patricia Thompson stared at Ryan Cooper with cold eyes. She was not used to people questioning her decisions, especially not in front of her friends and family. The cathedral was full of the most important people on New Terra Colony. They were all watching to see what would happen next. Mr. Cooper, Patricia said, keeping her voice sweet but firm. I appreciate your concern, but this is a private family matter. The child's mother is not part of our family anymore. Ryan looked around. The cathedral. Everyone was dressed in expensive clothes and jewelry. They all looked uncomfortable, like they wanted the drama to end so they could go back to their fancy ceremony. But she's still the child's mother, Ryan said simply. And Maya wants her here. Derek Thompson finally stepped forward. He had been standing quietly in the corner, hoping the problem would go away by itself. Derek was a weak man who always let his mother make decisions for him. Mr. Cooper, sir, Derek said nervously. My mother is right. Lisa ... my ex-wife. She doesn't really fit in with our social circle. This ceremony is important for our family's reputation. Ryan felt disgusted. Here was a man who cared more about what other people thought than about his own daughter's happiness. Your daughter is crying for her mother, Ryan said. How does that help your family's reputation? Derek looked down at Maya, who was still sitting on the floor with tears on her face. He seemed ashamed, but he didn't have the courage to stand up to his mother. Patricia Thompson decided to try a different approach. She had heard about Ryan Cooper's business success. Maybe she could use that to her advantage. Mr. Cooper, you're obviously a successful businessman, Patricia said with a fake smile. I'm sure you understand that sometimes we have to make difficult decisions for the good of our families and our businesses. Lisa Martinez is a nice girl, but she comes from a very different background than us. She works with her hands, fixing spaceships. She doesn't understand our world. Ryan's eyes got hard. He had heard this kind of talk before. Rich people who thought they were better than everyone else because they had money. I also work with my hands, Ryan said quietly. I started my shipping company by loading cargo boxes. Myself, I've fixed more spaceships than you can count. Are you saying I don't belong here either? Patricia's face turned red. She realized she had made a mistake. Ryan Cooper might be rich now, but he came from the same kind of background as Lisa. By insulting Lisa, she had also insulted him. That's not what I meant, Patricia said quickly. Of course you're different. You've made something of yourself. You're successful. So could Lisa, if people gave her a chance instead of judging her, Ryan replied. The other people in the cathedral started whispering among themselves. Some of them owned businesses that needed Cooper shipping services. They were worried about making Ryan angry. Maya stood up from the floor and walked over to Ryan. She tugged on his shirt to get his attention. Mister, Maya said in her small voice, can you please get my mama? I want her to see me in my pretty dress. Ryan's heart melted. This little girl just wanted her mother to share her special day. It was the most natural thing in the world. I'm going to try, sweetheart, Ryan said. Patting Maya's head gently. Patricia Thompson was getting desperate. She could see that the other guests were starting to side with Ryan. Her perfect ceremony was falling apart. Mr. Cooper, please be reasonable, Patricia said. We can't just let anyone into our family events. We have standards to maintain. What standards? Ryan asked. The standard of keeping a mother away from her daughter's baptism? The standard of making a 4-year-old child cry on what should be the happiest day of her life. Ryan's voice was getting louder. Everyone in the cathedral could hear him clearly. Let me tell you about my standards, Ryan continued. I believe that family comes first. I believe that children need their parents. I believe that love is more important than money or social status. He paused and looked around the room at all. The rich, well-dressed people. I also believe that treating people badly because they don't have money is wrong. And I don't do business with people who think that way. Patricia's face went white. Cooper Shipping was one of the biggest customers for New Terra Colony's mining operations. If Ryan stopped doing business with them, it would cost the Thompson family millions of dollars. Now wait just a minute, Patricia said, panic creeping into her voice. There's no need to bring business into this. Why not? Ryan asked. You brought social status into it. You're judging Lisa Martinez because she doesn't have money or fancy clothes. Well, I do have money, and I'm telling you, that what you're doing is wrong. Derek looked terrified. He knew his family's business depended on companies like Cooper Shipping. But he also knew his mother would never forgive him if he went against her wishes. Please, Mr. Cooper, Derek said weakly. Can't we work something out? Maybe Lisa could come to the next family event. This is Maya's baptism, Ryan said firmly. There won't be another one. This is the event that matters. Maya had been listening to the adults argue. She didn't understand all the big words, but she knew they were talking about her mama. The little girl walked over to the glass doors and pressed her face against them. She could see Lisa still standing outside in the hot sun. Mama looked sad, Maya said to no one in particular. Ryan followed Maya to the doors. He could see Lisa, waiting outside, looking hopeful and scared at the same time. She had probably heard the raised voices inside, but couldn't tell what was happening. She is sad, Ryan said to Maya. She wants to be here with you. Ryan made a decision. He had tried to reason with the Thompson family, but they were too proud and stubborn to listen. It was time to use the power he had worked so hard to build. Mrs. Thompson, Ryan said, turning back to Patricia, I'm going to make this very simple. Either Lisa Martinez comes into this cathedral right now to watch her daughter's baptism, or I walk out that door and never do business with your family again. Patricia's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. She looked around the room at her friends and family. They were all staring at her, waiting to see what she would do. You can't threaten us, Patricia said, but her voice was shaky. I'm not threatening anyone, Ryan said calmly. I'm just telling you what's going to happen. I choose to do business with people who treat others with respect. If you don't respect Maya's mother, then you don't respect Maya either. And I don't work with people who hurt children. The silence in the cathedral was complete. Even Maya had stopped crying and was watching the adults with wide eyes. Patricia Thompson looked at her son Derek, hoping he would support her. But Derek was staring at the floor, too scared to meet her eyes. The decision was entirely hers to make. Patricia Thompson stood frozen in the middle of the cathedral. Everyone was looking at her, waiting for her answer. The silence felt heavy, like the air before a big storm. She looked at Ryan Cooper's calm face. She could see that he meant every word he had said. If she didn't let Lisa into the cathedral, Ryan would stop doing business with the Thompson family. That would cost them millions of dollars and hurt their reputation with other companies too. But if she let Lisa in, Patricia would look weak in front of all her rich friends. She had spent years building her image as the most powerful woman on New Terra Colony. How could she back down now? Maya solved the problem for her. The little girl walked over to Patricia and tugged on her expensive dress. Maya looked up at her grandmother with big, innocent eyes. Grandma Patricia, Maya said in her sweet voice, I really want Mama to see me get baptized. Please, can she come in? I promise I'll be good. Patricia looked down at her granddaughter. Maya was the most important thing in Patricia's life, even if she had a strange way of showing it. The old woman had convinced herself that keeping Lisa away was best for Maya. But now, seeing the tears on Maya's face, Patricia began to doubt herself. Please, Grandma, Maya said again. I need my mama. Patricia closed her eyes and took a deep breath. When she opened them again, she looked tired and older than before. Fine, Patricia said quietly. Let her in. The security guards at the door looked confused. They had been told to keep Lisa out, and now they were being told to let her in. You heard her, Ryan said to the guards. Please open the doors. Ryan walked outside to get Lisa. She was still standing in the same spot, but now she looked scared and hopeful at the same time. What's happening? Lisa asked. I heard people shouting. You're coming inside, Ryan said with a smile. Maya needs her mother. Lisa's eyes filled with tears again, but this time they were happy tears. Really? They're going to let me in? Yes. Come on. Let's not keep your daughter waiting. Ryan walked with Lisa to the cathedral entrance. The security guard stepped aside and opened the heavy doors. As soon as Maya saw her mother, the little girl ran across the room as fast as her legs could carry her. Mama! Maya jumped into Lisa's arms. You're here. You're really here. Lisa held her daughter tight, breathing in the smell of Maya's shampoo and feeling the warmth of her small body. This was where she belonged. This was all she had wanted. I'm here, baby, Lisa whispered. Mama's here. Ryan watched the reunion with a small smile on his face. This was why he had become successful, not just to make money, but to have the power to help people when they needed it most. Patricia Thompson stood nearby, watching her granddaughter hug her mother. For the first time, Patricia began to see how much Maya loved Lisa. The little girl's whole face had changed when her mother walked in. Maya looked complete now, like a missing piece of her had been found. Come on, Lisa said to Maya. Let's finish your baptism. The priest, who had been waiting patiently through all the drama, stepped forward with relief. He was an old man who had performed hundreds of baptisms, but he had never seen anything like this before. Shall we continue? The priest asked Lisa, started to walk toward the back of the cathedral, thinking she should sit in the last row where she wouldn't bother anyone. But Ryan gently took her arm. No, Ryan said. You belong in the front row. This is your daughter's day. Ryan walked with Lisa and Maya to the very front of the cathedral. Lisa felt nervous with all the rich people staring at her, but Ryan's presence gave her confidence. Maya held her mother's hand tightly, like she was afraid Lisa might disappear. Again, as they sat down in the front row, Ryan sat beside Lisa. He didn't have to do that. He could have left now that his job was done. But something about Lisa and Maya reminded him of his own childhood, and he wanted to see Maya's special day. Through to the end. Thank you, Lisa whispered to Ryan. I don't know how to repay you for this. You don't need to repay me, Ryan said quietly. Just be here for your daughter. That's all that matters. The priest began the baptism ceremony again. This time, Maya was calm and happy. She stood next to her father, Derek, but she kept looking back at her mother to make sure Lisa was still there. During the ceremony, Ryan found himself thinking about his own daughter. Her name had been Emma, and she had died in a transport accident 3 years ago. Emma had been 8 years old, with bright blue eyes and a laugh that could light up any room. Ryan's wife had died giving birth to Emma, so it had been just the two of them for 8 wonderful years. After Emma died, Ryan had thrown himself into his work. He traveled from planet to planet, making deals and building his business empire. But no amount of money could fill the hole in his heart where his daughter used to be. Watching Maya today reminded Ryan of Emma's baptism. His wife had been sick during her pregnancy, but she had insisted on being there for the ceremony. She had held Emma in her arms, weak but smiling, as the priest blessed their baby. Family is the most important thing, Ryan whispered to Lisa during the ceremony. Never let anyone tell you different. Lisa looked at Ryan curiously. There was sadness in his eyes that hadn't been there before. She wondered what his story was, but this wasn't the time to ask. The priest poured holy water over Maya's head. Maya giggled because the water was cold. Everyone in the cathedral smiled, even Patricia Thompson. I baptize you, Maya Elizabeth Thompson Martinez, the priest said, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Maya looked back at her mother with a huge smile. Lisa was crying again, but these were the happiest tears of her life. After the ceremony ended, people began to come forward to congratulate Maya and her family. Most of them were polite to Lisa, though some still seemed uncomfortable around her. Patricia Thompson approached Lisa slowly. The older woman looked embarrassed and unsure of what to say. Lisa, Patricia began, I owe you an apology. I was wrong to try to keep you away from Maya's baptism. A mother should be with her child on important days like this. Lisa was surprised. She had never heard Patricia apologize for anything before. "Thank you for saying that," Lisa replied. "Maya loves you, and I know you love her too. We both want what's best for her." Patricia nodded. "Perhaps we could try to work together better. For Maya's sake." "I'd like that," Lisa said. Maya ran over to her mother and grandmother, still wearing her white baptism dress. "Did you see me, Mama? Did you see me get baptized?" "I saw everything, sweetheart," Lisa said, picking up her daughter. "You were perfect." Ryan watched the family reunion with satisfaction. This was what he had fought for, a little girl who could have both her mother and her father's family in her life. But Ryan also knew that Patricia's change of heart might not last long. Rich people like the Thompsons often went back to their old ways once the pressure was off. Lisa would need more than just an apology to protect herself and Maya in the future. Ryan had an idea that might help them both. After the baptism ceremony ended, people began to leave the cathedral. Some of them came over to shake hands with Derek and congratulate him on Maya's baptism. A few even said hello to Lisa, though most of them seemed uncomfortable talking to her. Ryan stayed close to Lisa and Maya as they walked outside into the warm afternoon sun. Maya was still wearing her white dress, but now she had a big smile on her face instead of tears. "Mama, did you like my baptism?" Maya asked, holding Lisa's hand. "It was beautiful, sweetheart," Lisa said. "I'm so proud of you." Derek walked over to them, looking nervous. He had been quiet during most of the drama in the cathedral. Now, he seemed ashamed of how his family had treated Lisa. "Lisa," Derek said, "I'm sorry about what happened today. My mother was wrong to keep you out." Lisa looked at her ex-husband. Part of her was still angry with him for not standing up to his mother, but she also knew that Derek was weak, not evil. He had always let other people make decisions for him. "Thank you for saying that," Lisa said. "Maya needs both of us in her life." Derek nodded. "I want to do better. Maybe we can talk about spending more time together as a family, even if we're not married anymore." Before Lisa could answer, Patricia Thompson walked over to their group. The older woman looked tired and less confident than usual. "Mr. Cooper," Patricia said to Ryan, "I want to thank you for what you did today." "You were right to stand up for Lisa. I was being foolish." Ryan studied Patricia's face. He could see that she meant what she said, at least for now. But he had met many rich people like Patricia in his business travels. They often changed their minds when it was convenient for them. "I hope you remember this feeling, Mrs. Thompson," Ryan said. "Maya needs her mother. Don't forget that." Patricia nodded. "I won't." "Lisa, would you and Maya like to come to dinner at our house next week? I think we should spend more time together." Lisa was surprised by the invitation. Patricia had never asked her to family dinners before. "That would be nice," Lisa said carefully. Maya would like that. Ryan watched this conversation with mixed feelings. He was glad that the family was trying to get along better, but he worried about Lisa's future. Patricia Thompson's apology was a good start, but Lisa still faced real problems. Lisa worked as a spaceship mechanic, which paid enough money for a small apartment and basic food. But she had no savings and no security. If she got sick or lost her job, she and Maya would be in serious trouble. The Thompson family, on the other hand, had millions of dollars and could hire the best lawyers if they ever decided to fight for her. Custody of Maya. Ryan made a decision. "Lisa," Ryan said, "could I talk to you privately for a minute?" Lisa looked surprised, but nodded. She told Maya to stay close to Derek while she walked a few steps away with Ryan. "I have an offer for you," Ryan said quietly. "I need a chief mechanic for my ship, the Stellar Dawn. The job pays 3 times what you're making now, plus full benefits for you and Maya." Lisa's eyes went wide. "Are you serious?" "Very serious. I've watched you today, and I can tell you're a strong, smart woman who loves her daughter. I need people like that working for me." "But you don't know anything about my work skills," Lisa said. "I know enough," Ryan replied. I've been running a shipping business for 20 years. I can tell when someone has good character. Skills can be taught, but character can't. Lisa felt dizzy with excitement and fear. This job offer could change everything for her and Maya, but it also seemed too good to be true. What's the catch? Lisa asked. There has to be something. Ryan smiled. The catch is that the job requires a lot of travel. The Stellar Dawn goes to different planets and space stations. Maya would have to live on the ship with you. Is that something you could handle? Lisa thought about it. Living on a spaceship would be a big change, but it might also be an adventure. Maya was young and adaptable. And if Lisa had a good job, with good pay, she would never have to worry about money again. How soon would we start? Lisa asked. Next month, if you want the job. Before Lisa could answer, Derek appeared beside them. He had been watching their conversation from a distance and looked worried. What are you two talking about? Derek asked. Mr. Cooper offered me a job on his ship, Lisa said honestly. Derek's face went pale. You can't take Maya away from here. She belongs on New Terra Colony with her family. She belongs with her mother, Ryan said firmly. And Lisa has every right to make the best life she can for herself and her daughter. Derek looked panicked. But Maya has school here, and friends and family. You can't just take her away to live on some spaceship. Lisa felt torn. She wanted the job desperately, but she also didn't want to hurt Maya by taking her away from everything. She knew. Maybe we could work out a schedule, Lisa suggested. Maya could spend part of the year here and part of the year with me on the ship. No, Derek said firmly. I won't allow it. Ryan's expression grew cold. You won't allow it. Lisa has primary custody. The decision is hers to make. Derek realized he had made a mistake. He didn't actually have the legal right to stop Lisa from taking the job. I'll fight you in court, Derek said desperately. My family has the best lawyers on the planet. And I have the best lawyers in the sector, Ryan replied calmly. Plus, I've been doing some research on your family's business practices while we were in the cathedral. I think a court might be very interested to hear about the safety violations at your mining operations. Derek's face went white. What are you talking about? Worker injury reports that were never filed, safety equipment that was never purchased, environmental damage that was covered up. Should I continue? Patricia Thompson had been listening to the conversation from nearby. Now, she hurried over with fear in her eyes. Mr. Cooper, please, Patricia said. There's no need to bring our business into this. We can work something out. Ryan looked at both Derek and Patricia. Here's what's going to happen. Lisa's going to take the job on my ship if she wants it. Maya will go with her. You can visit Maya whenever we're docked at New Terra Colony, which will be about once every 3 months. That's not enough, Derek protested. It's more than you deserve after what you tried to do today, Ryan said. But I'm willing to be fair. You can also video call Maya every day when we're traveling. And if Lisa agrees, Maya can spend her school vacation here with you. Lisa looked at Derek and Patricia. She could see that they were scared and angry. But they were also trapped. Ryan had all the power in this situation. I think that sounds fair, Lisa said. Maya needs to know her father and her grandparents. But she also needs a mother who can provide for her properly. Maya had been standing nearby, listening to the adults argue again. She didn't understand all the words, but she could tell they were talking about her. Are we going to live on a spaceship, Mama? Maya asked excitedly. That sounds fun. Lisa picked up her daughter and held her close. Would you like that, baby? We travel to different planets and see lots of new things. Yes, Maya said. Can we see the planet with the purple trees? I saw pictures of it in a book. Maybe we can, Lisa said, smiling. Ryan felt good about his decision. He was giving Lisa and Maya a chance for a better life, and he was getting a good employee. More importantly, he was helping the child stay with her mother. Derek and Patricia didn't look happy, but they knew they had no choice. They had created this situation with their prejudice and arrogance. Now they had to live with the consequences. 3 months later, Lisa stood on the bridge of the Stellar Dawn, looking out at the beautiful sight of Kepler Station. The space station was huge, with thousands of lights twinkling like stars. Ships from all over the galaxy were docked around, it bringing people and goods from dozens of different worlds. "Mama, look." Maya ran over to the big window, pressing her nose against the glass. "There's a ship with purple sails." Lisa smiled and put her arm around her daughter. Maya had adapted to life on the spaceship much better than Lisa had expected. The little girl loved exploring the different levels of the ship and learning about how everything worked. She had made friends with the other crew members, who treated her like their own daughter. Ryan walked onto the bridge carrying 2 cups of coffee. He handed one to Lisa and kept one for himself. "The docking procedures are complete," Ryan said. "We'll be here for 3 days before we head to the Outer Rim planets." Lisa nodded. She had become Ryan's chief mechanic just like he promised, and she was good at her job. Ryan had been right about her skills. She learned quickly and worked hard. The other crew members respected her, and the ship's engines had never run better. "Are we really going to the festival today?" Maya asked excitedly. "We sure are," Ryan said, ruffling Maya's hair. The Kepler Station Friendship Festival happens only once a year. People come from all over the galaxy to celebrate together. Lisa watched Ryan with Maya and felt grateful for everything he had done for them. Over the past 3 months, Ryan had become like a father to Maya and a close friend to Lisa. He was kind and patient with Maya, always willing to answer her endless questions about space travel and different planets. Lisa had worried at first that working for Ryan would be awkward because he had helped them so much. But Ryan treated her like any other employee. He expected her to work hard and do her job well, but he also respected her skills and opinions. Lisa felt proud of what she had accomplished. The job paid enough money for Lisa to save for Maya's future education. She had already put aside more money in 3 months than she had saved in 3 years on New Terra Colony. Maya had her own small cabin on the ship, decorated with pictures and toys she was learning to read and write from. The ship's computer system, which had educational programs for children. Most importantly, Maya was happy. She laughed more than she had when they lived on New Terra Colony. She felt safe and loved, surrounded by people who cared about her. "Can we call Daddy today?" Maya asked. "I want to tell him about the blue people we met on Centauri Prime." Of course we can," Lisa said. "We always call Daddy when we're at a station." Lisa and Derek had worked out a good schedule for staying in touch. Maya talked to her father every few days through video calls. When the Stellar Dawn stopped at New Terra Colony, Derek and Patricia came to visit Maya on the ship. The visits were still a little tense, but they were getting better. Patricia Thompson had kept her promise to treat Lisa with more respect. She even sent care packages to the ship with Maya's favorite snacks and new clothes. Derek was trying to be a better father too, though he still let his mother make most of the decisions. "Time to get ready for the festival," Ryan announced. "I heard there will be music and dancing from 12 different planets." An hour later, Lisa, Maya, and Ryan walked through the crowded corridors of Kepler Station. The festival was amazing. There were booths selling food from different worlds, musicians playing strange and beautiful instruments, and artists showing paintings and sculptures. Maya held hands with both Lisa and Ryan as they walked through the crowds. She stared with wonder at the alien beings around them. There were tall, thin people with silver skin from the ice planets. There were short, furry creatures from the forest worlds. There were beings made of energy who glowed like soft lights. "Look, Mama," Maya whispered, pointing at a group of children playing together. "They all look different, but they're all friends." Lisa looked where Maya was pointing. Human children were playing with alien children, laughing and running around together. Their parents stood nearby, talking and smiling despite coming from completely different worlds. "That's what makes humans special," Ryan said quietly to Lisa. "We make friends with everyone." We don't care if someone looks different or comes from a different place. Lisa thought about Ryan's words. He was right. Humans had spread across the galaxy and learned to live peacefully with dozens of alien species. They built friendships and partnerships everywhere they went. But sometimes, like with the Thompson family, humans forgot those values when dealing with their own people. Can I go play with them? Maya asked, looking at the group of children. Stay where we can see you, Lisa said. Maya ran over to the children and was immediately accepted into their game. Within minutes, she was laughing and playing like she had known them all her life. Ryan and Lisa found a bench where they could watch Maya while she played. Thank you, Lisa said to Ryan, for everything. You changed our lives. Ryan was quiet for a moment, watching Maya play with children from across the galaxy. You changed my life too, Ryan said finally. After my daughter, Emma, died, I thought I would never feel like a father again. But watching Maya grow and learn these past 3 months, it's helped heal something inside me. Lisa understood now why Ryan had been so quick to help them. He missed being a father, and Maya filled a hole in his heart just like he had filled holes in their lives. Maya loves you, Lisa said. She talks about Uncle Ryan all the time when you're not around. I love her too, Ryan said, and I love seeing her with you. You're a good mother, Lisa. Don't let anyone ever tell you different. A group of musicians started playing nearby. The music was unlike anything Lisa had ever heard before. It combined sounds from human instruments with alien musical devices. The result was beautiful and strange. Maya came running back to them, her face flushed with excitement. Mama, the blue girl taught me how to say hello in her language, Maya said, and the boy with 4 arms showed me how his people dance. Lisa picked up her daughter and hugged her. That's wonderful, sweetheart. Can we come back here next year? Maya asked. If our shipping route brings us this way, we'll definitely try, Ryan said as they watched the festival continue around them. Lisa thought about how much her life had changed since Maya's baptism day. She had been powerless and scared that day, watching through glass while other people made decisions about her daughter's life. Now she had a good job, financial security, and the respect of her co-workers. More importantly, she had control over her own life and Maya's future. She could make decisions about where they lived and how they spent their time. Maya was growing up seeing the galaxy, meeting people from different worlds, and learning that the universe was full of possibilities. She would never have to feel limited by what other people thought she could achieve. Look, Maya said, pointing up at the station's huge windows. Through the glass, they could see stars stretching out into infinity. There are so many places we haven't been yet. Lisa looked up at the stars and smiled. Maya was right. There were countless worlds to explore, people to meet, and adventures to have. The Thompson family had tried to make Lisa feel small and worthless. They had tried to convince her that she wasn't good enough for their family or their world. But they were. Wrong. Lisa belonged wherever she chose to be. And with Ryan's friendship and her own hard work, she and Maya could go anywhere in the galaxy. Ready to see what's next? Ryan asked, standing up and offering his hand to Maya. Always, Maya said, taking his hand and reaching for her mother's. Together, the 3 of them walked back toward the stellar dawn, ready for whatever adventure waited among the stars.